Roza Shanina survived sniper school. Now, real Frontline. First blood, first losses. How did a 20-year-old Siberian girl adapt to Eastern Front hell? 59 Nazis await her bullet. Part 2 begins. Full 55-minute movie above, all her story in one place. After graduation, Roza was assigned to the 184th Rifle Division of the 5th Army, part of the 3rd Belarusian Front. In the spring of 1944, this army held one of the most tense sectors, the Vitebsk area, where a major offensive was being prepared. The Soviet forces were planning an operation that would later be known as Operation Bagration, a massive push to liberate Belarus and break the German defensive lines. Snipers were crucial in such regions. Dense forests, fortified positions, front-line routes where precision and calm meant survival. This was the place to which a 19-year-old sniper trainee, Roza Shanina, was now being sent. The train moved westward. Spring of 1944. Muddy stations, soldiers, hospital trains, the smell of smoke and damp wood. At the stops, their wagons stood beside trains of wounded. Quiet faces, bandaged arms, nurses too tired to notice the passing time. Roza was being sent to the 184th Rifle Division, to the sector where Operation Bagration would soon begin. And the road to the front became her first real touch with war.
Going, wheels loud, window shaking. At the station, wounded, sitting quietly. Some look at the ground, some nowhere. A nurse walked past, eyes empty. I looked, didn't know what to say. Wagon quiet. Someone writing, someone sewing. I write too. Arrived, all calm. Easier this way. Afraid? Maybe. More unsure. Feel everything changing. Close my eyes, see the school. Already far.
The train moved for a long time, past stations, past wounded and nurses who knew far more of war than she did. Somewhere on that road, Roza understood there was no way back. Ahead was the front. The train stopped at a small front-line station. No parade ground, no formations, only trampled earth and the constant sound of distant artillery. Roza was assigned to the 184th Rifle Division. The welcome was brief. A roll call, a ration pack, and immediately, forward to see the positions.
Arrived. Station small. Smoke, wet snow, black ground. Soldiers tired. Everyone looking past. Artillery all the time. No one flinches. I do. Commander said, "You'll get used to it." Not sure, but nodded. Walked through trenches, smell of damp earth. Someone fixing a boot, someone just sitting, staring ahead. They said, "Here you'll be." Looking, don't understand anything yet.
Her first minutes at the front were not frightening, just unclear. The reality was quieter and heavier than she imagined. Her first encounter with war was not a scream, but a pressure of silence. A few days after her arrival, Roza came under fire for the first time. It happened suddenly. A shout from a sentry, a sharp whistle in the air, and the ground lifting under her feet. For the veterans, it was an ordinary day. For Roza, a moment impossible to forget.
First, a whistle. Didn't understand. Then, impact. earth in my face. Someone fell beside me, a soldier, blood on his arm. I look, can't look away. Commander yelled, "Lower!" I dropped down, breathing fast, heart loud. He was moaning quietly, very quietly, eyes empty. Didn't know it could be like this. When it stopped, we carried him to cover. He was heavy, warm, barely breathing. Death close. I thought it would be different, but it just lies there.
This first shelling was her true introduction to what no school could prepare her for. After that, fear was no longer abstract. It became part of the work, part of the front, part of her. The first battle began early in the morning. Mist hung between the trees, and Roza, together with an observer, was sent to take position on the edge of a forest belt. She lay almost motionless, hearing scattered shots, branches trembling, and her own breath beneath the camouflage cloth.
Lying, wet grass cold, hands steady. Here, they're coming. See a silhouette, slow, not rushing. German soldier, helmet shining. Observer whispered, "Yours." Heart loud, breath short. Aimed easily, too easily, like training. But this, not training. Fired. He fell at once, just sat down and lay. Thought it would be different. A cry, pain on the face, but he just fell. Observer said, "Good." I said nothing. Kept looking at where he fell. Don't know why. Wanted to understand what I had done.
This first shot left in her memory not pride and not fear, but a quiet, heavy stillness. Her work at the front began not with heroism, but with the understanding that every precise shot has its price. After the first battle came days that resembled neither training nor exercises. These were days when death became part of the landscape, not a tragedy, but a constant background. Roza had not yet grown used to it, but she was beginning to understand what the older soldiers felt.
Shot again today. Second time now. Hands shake less. Didn't think it happens, that a person can get used to this. But it seems it happens. See our dead. Hard to look. Sometimes I turn away. Sometimes no strength left. Death around, like fog. Thick. Not painful, not loud. Just there. Need to work. If not me, someone else will lie where he is now. Sometimes I want quiet. Just quiet.
This is how the inner shift begins. Not in one day and not in one battle. Fear sinks inward. The trembling fades. And what remains is what soldiers call combat calm. After the first battles, life at the front did not become easier, but it became clearer. Roza began to notice the people around her, their exhaustion, their rough, familiar kindness, their ability to joke where laughter should not exist. The soldiers accepted her quickly, quiet, attentive, and harder to draw into conversation with every passing day.
Sitting with ours. They drink tea, talk about home. I listen. Sometimes they ask, "How is it for you here?" I say, Fine. Don't know what else to say. They are good people. Laugh a lot. Sometimes I want to laugh too, but can't. Today the girls shared rations, gave me a piece of sugar, said, "You're skinny, take it." I smiled. Don't smile often now. We're all different here, but somehow being close makes it easier. Maybe because we all know what tomorrow can be.
This is how she became part of her unit. Not a hero, not a symbol, but their own, quiet, reliable. The soldiers respected her not for her accuracy, but because she shared with them the same silence. A few weeks passed. Roza worked with precision, calm, and almost without noticing it herself, became one of the most effective snipers in her unit. The commanders marked her in the reports, and soldiers increasingly called for her when someone needed a look or cover.
They said today, "You work well." Didn't know what to answer. Sometimes they write down numbers. I feel uneasy about it. It's a life. Each one. But work must be done. Ours trust me. If I miss, someone will hurt. Commander gave me a new rifle. Said I earned it. I took it. Hands were steady. In the evening, a soldier came, said, "Thank you for today." I nodded, not used to such words.
This is how a legend begins, not with loud speeches or medals, but with quiet respect from those who depended on her accuracy. Roza didn't yet know that soon her name would appear in newspapers, and that commanders would hold up her work as an example. But the first steps were made here, in the wet trench, in the fog, between battles, where she simply did what needed to be done.
Woke earlier than the others. Watched the fog. It looks the same as at home, but I'm already different. Check my rifle. Every morning, the same. Hands do the movements by themselves. Don't flinch at the shelling now. Strange. As if my body already knows where I am. Eat little, sleep dressed, write short. Now everything short. After every battle, emptiness, as if something leaves from inside. But when I look at our men, I understand why I'm here, and I keep working. Sometimes at night, I try to remember who I was before, and I can't recall right away.
When the front finally grew quiet, everyone rushed to write letters. Thin sheets of paper meant to remind them that somewhere beyond the trenches, life still existed, a life where one could love. Roza received plenty of attention. People liked her, respected her, smiled at her. But letters required honesty, not admiration.
Writing again today. It's easier to write than to speak. Sometimes men bring me letters, laugh, ask who I'm writing to. I smile, but inside, quiet. Maybe I could love, but how? When every day is a new position, every person temporary, and all thoughts are about surviving till tomorrow. Letters come rarely. Some never come. I'm not angry. I just understand. Their life is there, and mine, here.
She wasn't alone, but more and more she felt that love here was not the love people knew at home. Here, it was an attempt to hold water in one's hands. Roza was never short of attention. Soldiers often looked for reasons to approach her, to help, to talk, to sit nearby. Sometimes it even became funny, but Roza never mocked anyone. She understood. Everyone here seeks warmth in their own way.
Today, one soldier decided to court me, I suppose. Seriously, too. He brought me something like flowers. 3 dry twigs. But he held them as if they were a bouquet from Moscow. He said, "Roza, you're Roza." And that was all. He couldn't think of anything else. I didn't get angry. He's a good man. Just tired. Just wanted to feel alive. I told him quietly, "Thank you, but no." He blushed, smiled, and ran off. Sometimes they argue over who will carry my canteen or sit beside me during rest. It's sweet, but it's a game, a way to forget the war for a moment. Some write me long letters, beautiful ones, but I know the same letters go to other girls in other units. Others speak of love too easily, too lightly. They want warmth, not me. Sometimes I like someone, a word, a look, and things seem brighter. But I move forward constantly, shifted from place to place. How can anything grow when you live between positions?
She didn't reject men. She simply understood that their feelings were too quick and her life too unstable. And so she was surrounded by people, yet had no one truly close. Frontline bonds rarely lasted. People appeared and disappeared like shadows in the fog. Roza knew this well. There was Bloken, calm, reliable. They spoke often and were silent together. But he was sent to the rear, and the thread between them faded away.
His letters grew rare, short. And there, in the rear, he had Tanya. He never let me read her letters, and I understood why. I wasn't angry. I just saw another thread break on its own.
But this story did not wound her deeply. Not like another, the one that was true and died together with the man she loved. Among all the people she met at the front, only one left a mark in her diary unlike any other. Misha Panarin. She didn't write much about him, but every word she did write was precise, quiet, and deeply personal.
I cannot accept that Misha Panarin is no longer alive. He was such a good man. He loved me, I know. And I, too. My heart is heavy. I'm 20, and I have no close person.
She never described details. She never wrote how it began or what they said to each other. But sometimes silence speaks louder than memory. After his death, she kept living, working, writing, smiling. But a shadow appeared in her diary and never left.
When you love someone and they leave, a part of you leaves with them.
It was her only true love, and war took it before it could become a story. War changed people, sometimes slowly, sometimes overnight. Roza felt it more sharply than most, not because of death, not because of loneliness, but because of the pace of life on the front.
Sometimes it feels like I've grown older by many years. I don't know when exactly it happened. I live so fast. I don't have time to be myself, as if I'm running from one position to another from one day to the next, always forward. People say I'm strong, but strength is just the habit of not stopping. Sometimes I read my older notes, and I don't recognize that girl. She was softer, and believed that things could still be mended. And I simply live, day by day, as if there is no time for myself or for my heart.
She did not complain. She did not dramatize. She simply noted, war does not only kill, it reshapes a person so quietly that one notices only when it is already done.
If I had more time, maybe I would know who I want to be. But all I have is today, and what I must do.
Roza Shanina mastered the front lines. But ahead, the darkest chapter, Prussia offensive. Assault on Königsberg, Eastern Front's ultimate hell. Her death in that meat grinder, in Part 3. Full 55-minute video already on channel. Watch above. Subscribe to catch the tragic finale.